Welcome back. You are watching the AI report right here on News9. Well, Elon Musk has decided to finally put an end to his Tesla Model S and Model X production. This after the long agony of lackluster sales and declining interest in the aging EVs. And then, of course, came the results which showed for the first time the Tesla EV cars. And in fact, Tesla as a company as a whole has seen a 3% decline in revenue for the financial year gone by. Now, these two car models were a rage a decade ago. That was when Tesla emerged as a market disruptor and ignited imaginations and also became a symbol for inspiration for an entire generation. And then, of course, came the downslide. The EVs have seen no real engineering changes and only minor cosmetic adjustments since. This eventually led to the sales collapsing, and now Tesla decided to end these cars in disgrace, one would call it. Now, according to the official statement, production will end in the second quarter to make room for artificial intelligence. That's right, Elon Musk is likely to pump in as much as $2 billion and use the existing assembly lines of the Model S and the Model X to produce the Optimus robos in its Fremont plant. Now, of course, this story also tells us that the demise of these cars would be offset by this accelerated preparation for large-scale production of the third-generation Optimus robo. So Tesla is expected to unveil the third-generation Optimus in the first quarter of this year. This version is designed specifically for mass production and is likely to be the model customers will eventually purchase. Now, the updated robo reportedly features several improvements over the current 2.5 iteration, including the latest hand design aimed at improving dexterity and task handling. So what does this mean for the AI ecosystem? And more importantly, what does this mean for the pivot that we are seeing in Elon Musk's aspirations? Well, we have with us News9's international editor, in fact, TV9 Network's editor international, R Sridharan, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for your time. And what a pleasure having you here with us again. First up, just talk to us about this pivot that we are seeing. Of course, the story initially starts with the Model S and the Model X of Tesla. But it seems that this pivot, especially given the kind of competition we are seeing from BYD in China for the first time in 2025, overtaking Tesla as the largest EV maker, this pivot, is it likely to be limited to Model S and Model X? Or do you see Tesla as a company pivoting completely from EVs to artificial intelligence?
So, Kartik, this is not just about the discontinuation of two cars which essentially contribute only 3% to Tesla's car sales.
Right.
This is more about a reinvention, the dawn of a new era at Tesla, I would say, because this is in line with the vision which Musk has enunciated for Tesla,
right, and
the $1 trillion pay package which he's negotiated with his shareholders over a 10 years period. So this is the start of that journey.
Right.
So what the $1 trillion pay package really talks about is Elon Musk being able to hit 20 million in EV sales, a million robo-taxis on the road, and 1 million Optimus sold.
That's right.
And EBITDA of about $400 billion.
Right.
So this, to my mind, is the start of that long journey. It's a big challenge, and it's a big bet that Elon Musk is making.
Yeah.
This could either turn out to be the greatest pivot in the history of corporate America or anywhere in the world, or the biggest disaster that one could think of.
Absolutely. So two extreme scenarios likely to play out. Either one of them would eventually play out, because I think one would agree that whatever Elon Musk does, he does it with a bang, and it's either going to fade out into something absolutely silly, or it's going to explode into something massive, which is
go
going to be
big or go bust.
Absolutely, go big or go bust. But he's also had other launches from the Tesla stable, and many of those actually did not really survive the kind of enthusiasm that they had launched with. I'm talking about the Cybertruck, for example.
Right.
So the Cybertruck continues to sell in the US, but we've seen the kind of backlash that customers have given Tesla over the Cybertruck, and the Model Y, which has been introduced in many markets, including Europe and also in India. Even though if numbers serve me correct, India received or was able to buy a total of just 141 odd cars. But the Cybertruck and the Model Y continue to drive on inroads across the world. So this pivot, is that going to eventually lead to maybe a gradual phasing out of these two electric vehicle models as well?
No, I don't think so, because Kartik, what's going to happen is, while Tesla may move away from its positioning as an EV car maker to seller to passengers or buyers, it needs those cars to fulfill its robotaxi dream, because the plan initially at Tesla is to own these cars that they put on the road. Because what Elon Musk is really trying to do is to move away from being an EV car maker to an AI product company.
Right.
So then it means owning the AI platform on which these cars are going to run. So he's going to get far more data than, let's say, a Waymo has, or even an Uber has.
Right.
So that's where the value is going to come from. And the journey is, of course, perilous. What happens when you stop selling and these fleets are on your own books, right? So it's going to be a big financial challenge for Tesla. Sales will drop, in the transition that happens.
Right.
So it's going to be a challenging phase for Tesla. And I think that is, but I think investors, at least the shareholders of Tesla, seem confident. If there's anyone who can make this, like make a, what would I say, a tanker, an oil tanker turn on a dime, it's possibly Elon Musk.
It's possibly Elon Musk. But talk to us, Sri, also about, you mentioned and very accurately that Tesla is pivoting from an electric vehicles company to an AI products company. And we've seen in the EV space the kind of beating it got from BYD in 2025, and now in the robotics space as well. There is a Unitree and God knows how many other Chinese companies there which are working on robotic technologies which could pretty much disrupt all the ambitions that Elon Musk is coming with when it comes to AI and XAI particularly.
So what differentiates Elon Musk from other entrepreneurs and his view or way of doing business from others, Kartik, is this. He picks up huge, big, hairy problems which are at human scale. So these are truly disruptive ideas that he picks up and he executes on them.
Right.
So whether it's reusable rockets with SpaceX or like what he's done with the lithium-ion batteries now.
True.
So, he's gone and developed a technology which is sustainable, which is eco-friendly.
Right.
So China is again like, being beaten on that front. So he's the man who has consistently demonstrated that he can pick up these seemingly impossible challenges and make them happen.
Right.
So I think with EV, he's probably got a little bored because, EVs are also facing a lot of headwind.
Right.
The subsidies that used to be on EVs are gone. BYD, like you mentioned, is like, giving Tesla a run for its money.
Right.
And, despite all the investment that you're making in the recharging networks and everything, people still have this range anxiety when they own,
electric vehicles.
EVs.
True.
So these are all factors which have come together. But fundamentally, I think Elon Musk really wants to reinvent the company because he thinks that's the next big problem he needs to solve.
And his
it's not
journey
just
to
about
the
putting
next,
EVs on the road.
And his journey to the next $1 trillion paycheck over the next 10 years after this period elapses.
Right, because he talks in terms of this, era of abundance based on this AI, Optimus robots.
Absolutely.
So that's essentially the dream that he's now chasing.
Right. So another dream that he was chasing, and fairly successfully as that some would argue, was the SpaceX and reusable rockets, which you just mentioned some time back. Now, again, that is a sector which is threatened by China because China has its own very, very ambitious targets for space exploration as well as satellites. But, another news that emerged last week, Sri, was that SpaceX could go in for a listing by, middle of this year, mid-May or June is what we are talking about. Right. And then there was another Bloomberg report which emerged on Thursday saying that potentially Elon Musk would look at SpaceX merging into Tesla, and this becomes one large mammoth of an organization which has ambitions in EV, in space exploration, as well as in artificial intelligence. Do you see some sort of a synergy in the advent of perhaps all of these units coming together as one?
Well, if you look at the direction in which technology is going, there is apparent synergy, but I think the businesses are entirely different. The AI products company, which is what Tesla will become, whereas SpaceX, it's a pure, rocket company with a vision to get into Mars and all those things.
Right.
But I think it's safe to say that, Kartik, when the IPO comes, this will probably be the mother of all IPOs because I think the last discovered secondary sale that happened for SpaceX was at a valuation of about $800 billion.
Right.
And there are a lot of reports that the IPO, when it comes, will be at a valuation of $1.5 trillion.
Right.
And the proceeds that they get from the IPO would be $50 billion, making it more than double the largest IPO that we've seen in the history of corporate world, like which is the Saudi Aramco, IPO we saw. So, Elon Musk never ceases to surprise me, and I wouldn't want to bet against the man at this stage.
Okay, no bets against Elon Musk at this stage. I think that is the clincher here. Sri, let's leave it at that. Thank you so much for this lovely discussion. Thank you. And with that, we will slip into another very short break, but a lot more coming up on the other side of the break. Because if you thought AI was restricted only to computers and cell phones and potentially robots, think again, because there are AI-enabled toilets and AI-enabled mattresses doing the rounds as well. That and more on the other side of the break. You are watching the AI Report.